TJ Kelley is here with me and joining us for this week's Chalk Talk, sponsored by the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan, is the head coach of the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators, Sean Finnegan. Coach, thanks for taking a few minutes to join us here on Hangtime.
Hey, appreciate you guys having me.
All right, it's good to see you. Now, we always like to start our conversations, Coach, asking about your coaching journey. So what got you into coaching? Can you tell us, maybe some of your mentors and also your experience at Traverse City St. Francis?
Yeah, I came from a small school, Bel Air, played for a really old school coach, Stan Sexton. I think he's in the Hall of Fame in the state now. He was very hard on me and old school mentality, and I think a lot of the lessons he taught me I figured out later in life. Didn't really connect at the time, being a young, dumb high school kid, but I went on to play college football at Michigan Tech, and my offensive coordinator up there, Tom Curley, ended up connecting with me real well, and between the two of them, those would be my two mentors, I'd say. And after my playing career was done, I spent 1 year as a student assistant coach under him, just kind of learning what it takes to do some of that, and fell in love with it. Right out of college, got an opportunity to start helping out and coaching at Traverse City West, and I spent 10 years there as an assistant or JV coach, wherever they needed me each year. And then the opportunity came up at St. Francis, which I married a girl from St. Francis. We knew our kids are going to go there, so that was kind of the perfect situation. And I guess things happen for a reason, as I always say, and the timing was right. It worked out, and I'm in my 5th year now, and trying to now take some of those things that I learned. Like I said, it's amazing when you get yourself in situations, whether it's with kids with chemistry in a group, or just a kid you can't connect with, just a lot of different scenarios. And like we were talking earlier, now with social media and all the other technological challenges that kids face, whether they know it or not, taking some of those old school mentalities from those coaches that I learned a lot from. It's funny how you look back, it's like, man, they were spot on, and it was a different time. And they didn't, those same rules apply now that applied then. There's just, you got to maybe word it a little different so the kids understand what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, it's crazy how flashbacks in your head, like, that's what he was talking about 25 years ago. Like, are you kidding me? So then you have the moment with the kid, and it's like, hey, I got chewed on for this all the time, and it took me till last week to really realize what he was even talking about. And now, because I'm dealing with you, so it's some great mentors along the way, great experiences along the way, some tough experiences along the way, but that's what molds us who we are, I guess.
People don't change. It's just a different delivery system that we have to give to the kids. We were both active in sports. I played 3 sports in high school, and boy, I tell you, some of the speeches we got in our locker rooms, boy, I tell you, would be were not for prime time viewing. Let's just say that. I went to a Catholic high school in California, so I know what's up with that. But again, these lessons. That's they're time tested.
Oh, without a doubt. I remember, even through the last couple of years with the coronavirus, I look at not only coaches but adults and stuff like that who are in your life, whether it be a teacher, a grandparent or whatever. I remember my grandmother, who grew up in the Depression area, she was talking about rationing, and stuff like that. I'm just like, what are you talking about?
Right.
12 years old. I got $50 in my pocket. I got my lawn service money, and I got my paper route money in my pocket. I'm ready for a vacation.
And your Sony Walkman.
And my Sony Walkman
yes,
with my 2 CDs,
yes.
Which I could never play out loud, around certain crowds and stuff like that. But, I think that it's so important that we do remember these lessons and are able to pass them on. And then also let some of the kids know where they come from and stuff like that, because I think that they're not going to look at some of the what's the phrase that they use, the boomers,
right?
The boomers and stuff like that. Well, that boomer taught me this and taught me this,
right?
And if you would have listened to what I was telling you, you wouldn't be in the situation that you're in right now,
right?
I kind of look at it, high school, just as far as it's a great experience. You get to make a lot of friends, and a lot of those friends become lifetime. You're knowing them for the rest of your life, whether they're in your wedding, a godparent or something like that. But yeah, I think coaches have a special place in this world, and happy for what you're doing, and just passing down the life lessons that you've learned along the way.
Well, appreciate that. You definitely can't break clipboards over kids' heads anymore at halftime.
No.
That kind of went away.
Yep.
That might have ended with me. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, one thing that really stands out with me, something we really push to do is kind of given the why. Unfortunately, I feel like more in this generation than before, you have to explain why a lot.
Yeah. Right.
And whether it's why we run a certain set a certain way, why we defend this way, why I'm yelling at you right now for effort, whatever it is, the more you make it to where they understand the situation. So back to your point, TJ, hey, these lessons were the same 20-something years ago when I was being told. It might have been worded different, and my coach at the time didn't explain why, but I've come to find out why. And, the more you kind of break it down for them, I feel like it really connects, especially, with the instant gratification of social media. Kids, if they don't know why, they're going to Google it and tell you 7 reasons why you're wrong, rather than, no, because I said so, and because this is what we're trying to accomplish and this is what it means. You don't need to Google it, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yes. Listen to me.
Right.
All right.
Trust the process.
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi didn't give out that yellow car.
Yes.
Without painting the fence and all that stuff.
He had to earn it.
You'll find out why later on.
He had to earn it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, one thing we know about Traverse City St. Francis, us who, state champ's been around for 20 years. Of course, we think of the Bulla Brothers, and we think of football. And but you're doing it now on the basketball end. Your team is off to a great start. But being from what, at least from my perspective, is traditionally a football school. What do you say now about how basketball is kind of changing things over there?
Well, I told my AD when I came in, I said, we're always been known as a football school. How do I make us a football and basketball school? He said, well, name one other school in the state that's both. I said, well, you're right. That's tough. You don't hear a lot. They're either a football powerhouse or a basketball powerhouse, and maybe really good at baseball as well. But you don't usually hear the two of those combined. But we spent a lot of time with our youth when we came in, but and kind of starting with the foundation of the program and going from there. Wyatt in our group, that junior class, we've had them for 5 years now. So they've really figured out the system, but. At the end of the day, I think, I lost my train of thought there. Of course, that was going to happen.
You're talking about basketball, yeah.
So kids, talking about basketball, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of times you get the question every year because our football team's been in state finals or semis last 4 or 5 years. Yep. So every
pretty
year,
regularly.
I get coached. Right. It's like, how do you deal with having 6 kids at practice for the first 3 weeks?
Right.
Like, well, you deal with it. Because when we get them, they're coming into us as winners. They're coming into us tough. They're coming into us trained to expect to win, expect to work hard to win. They understand
shape.
What it takes. Not quite our shape, but in a shape. In a type of shape, a little different on the quick burst basketball court.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have kids that they're being trained to win. They're being trained how to win, and I think I'll take that. And we just learned how to roll with it. We'll take that over the kids that went 2-7 in football and been sitting on their butt for the last 3 weeks waiting for basketball to start. And, they're just kind of come in with their shoulders shrugged, like, well, another season. It's like, no, these kids came off of a successful year. They're coming in, chomping at the bit. We got to kind of teach them what a round ball looks like again for a little bit. And, we're never very good at the beginning. I can promise you that. We are rusty. We're rough. We're physical. We're too aggressive. We get yelled at for fouling too much.
Right.
So we have to settle them down a little, but they learn a lot of good things from being successful in football that translate over. And
absolutely,
we've been fortunate with good kids that come in with that mindset, and I guess the rest of the chips kind of fall where they lay, I guess.
Yeah. Well, TJ is going to ask you a little bit about your team coming up here in just a second, this year's version. But I did want to ask you, since this is a BCAM sponsor segment, you're a BCAM regional director, and I encourage all coaches to get involved at that level with BCAM at least once in their career. Why do you do it?
Well, I like to, you ask my wife, she says I can't say no to anything, so I just keep saying yes to things. But
right.
I like to, I don't know, I like to give back. I like to be involved. I know a lot of the coaches personally in our area, so I just felt like, I guess I was recommended for the spot, but B, I was happy to do it because I have a pretty good streamline to a lot of the people we need. A lot of the people that aren't members, people that are members, just I don't know. I can have a loud voice when I want to, I guess. So that can help when you're in those situations, pushing for people or pushing for people's kids. I think a lot of coaches up north, and myself included, think that Northern Michigan doesn't always get the spotlight or the credit that some of the players deserve up here. We've had a lot of good college athletes, and some of that's on us. You want to get more recognition, go beat teams from downstate, go down there and prove that you can run with anyone else just the same. Make runs in the tournament. But I don't know. I guess I can't say no to things, and I like to help. So however I can take more time out of my day job and put it towards basketball. That's what I'm doing.
No, absolutely. And let's get into the 22 version of the Gladiators. You defeated Elk Rapids 62-45 on Tuesday night to move your record to 14-1, 11-0 in the Lake Michigan Conference. TJ, take it away.
I love and to go on what you're talking about with some of the guys being recognized, from Parallel 45, if I can borrow a line from Steve Bell, or there's a sign that also says Parallel 45.
Yes.
But I remember, Sean Sheldon being with Traverse City St. Francis, a dozen years ago, and him having a lot of success and then going on to the Division I level. You guys did make a trip down to the Breslin Center. I forgot if it was the finals or the semifinals, but
the finals they lost to Beecher in 2012.
Yes. Yeah, that guy Monty Morris, man, jeez. Yes. If you're going to lose to somebody, good. I guess hey, I played against that guy and stuff like that, and it'll be a fun picture later on, down the road and stuff like that. Show it off to your kids.
Absolutely.
But I got a phone call. I want to say 2 years ago. River Rouge made a trip up to Traverse City St. Francis, and Lamonte Stone, the head coach at the time, gave me a call, and he said, man, they got this kid up there, Wyatt Nasitis, and I don't think that he pronounced it correctly, but I wound up figuring that out after I talked to a few people. But he kind of let me know, and as a former Division I coach, he spoke very, very highly of Wyatt. And, ever since then, I've been able to watch him, online. And I've also been able to watch him with his AAU team or grassroots team during the spring and summer. And I love what that kid, the energy that he brings to the game, the production. He always seems to have like the positive energy, that you need a lead guard to have. And I think that what he does really, it carries over to the rest of the team. And I can see that happening in the high school. I've seen it happening on the grassroots circuit, and I only think that that's going to happen in college. What's it like to have a player like Wyatt, playing for you and being able to coach him?
He's a special player. There's no two ways about it. He played football this year, which he was on the fence about just because he wanted to be in the gym, and I'm glad he did. He was probably near being the player of the year if they would have won one more game. Just a special athlete. But during all that time, 6 a.m., he's in the gym 3 days a week shooting. He's bugging me to come unlock the balls for him on my way to drop my kids off at school. He's been a gym rat from the day I've known him. There's been a lot of hard work to get to where he's at. But, man, it's a lot more less stressful when you are in some situations and you got a kid that can handle it, that's been there, done that a little bit, that you can trust in the situation, to know what you want, to know how you want something to happen, to understand the situations. And that comes with playing a lot of, travel ball, playing a lot of just open gyms with older guys. We try to expose our kids to man ball, so to quote unquote, as much as we can, because that's how I grew up, playing with older guys, older kids than me, and getting beat up and all those things. I mean, that toughens you up. So, I mean, he's put in the time, he's put in the effort, he's gotten bigger and stronger, and he's starting to be really rewarded for it with how he's been playing, and then he's got a great group around him. I mean, it's been tough. We've had a couple times teams have tried to run some junk, diamond one, box one, triangle twos on us, and he's been a very good passer, and getting other guys involved, and that's been a big push for us this year. For him is to really get him to that next level. As you can't be the guy shooting the first 5 shots. We know you can get to the rim on the guy one-on-one just about every time on the floor, but we got to get others going. The more they get going, the easier it gets for you. And he's really kind of started to figure that out. And last year, you go from being a freshman, starting with 4 seniors, no one knows who you are. And averaged 10 and a half a game, had a good freshman year, kind of broke out as a freshman. Sophomore year comes along, all those seniors graduate, now you're the man. And that was, they always say, oh, sophomore slump. I mean, I don't know if it was a sophomore slump, but it was a big transition, going from just being under the radar, no pressure, to all of a sudden you're getting double teamed every time you touch the ball. And, just all of a sudden that pressure of being a captain as a sophomore, I mean, that's a lot on a 15-year-old kid at that point. So this year, the growth in him from last year, this year is just night and day. I mean, physically, he's filled in a lot more. He's put a lot of time in the weight room, but at the same time, mentally, in that, controlling his emotions and just that mental toughness part of just understanding it. Hey, I'm going to get doubled a lot. I'm going to see junk, get my other guys going, and that loosens up. And then then his game really starts to come to life when he's not getting trapped every time he touches it, because there's other threats around him. And a lot of those other threats, credit to him for getting them going, because, that just helps him out. So it's been a fun year so far. I mean, I'm thinking we hopefully still got another, 8 games left. So that'd be our goal, is to win our last one. And, he's going to have a big part of that. So
I think trust goes a long way. And just being a younger guy, hey, I don't know all these guys and stuff like that. But when you start believing in your teammates and everybody starts believing in each other, I think, even the guys on the bench who might not play, they'll give, a heads up or something like that, whether they're whispering to Wyatt or to somebody, hey, he's got 4 fouls on him right there, go, kind of like, hey, take advantage of this opportunity. Let's get him off the court if we can. But yeah, I think that, trust just makes the best teams have the most trust. They play within a family. They're able to, get on one another's, and coach them up. And everybody's got the faith. Well, you're doing it for the right reasons, and the right reasons is so that we can get down to East Lansing, at the end of March. And so you're saying you've got 8 games. I think you might have maybe 13. So.
Or with my math off, that's what it was, right?
Yeah. No,
I'll say
absolutely.
We got 5 more regular and then 8 more. Yeah, 13. Yeah. That's right.
And we talked about getting an opportunity to play other teams. You are going to Grand Rapids this weekend, and we plan on actually covering that game. What is it? Forest Hill Central? Is that you're going up against?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah. So that's great. That gives an opportunity in a showcase style to see some other teams and also get a chance to put your talents on display in kind of a quasi playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, and conveniently enough, a good friend of mine, Kyle Carhart's their coach, so that'll be a fun time to go down and see him too. And
nice.
I think we did a pretty good job this year. We unfortunately our league, we're 8 deep, and that makes 14 of your 20 games league games.
Right.
And let's just say they haven't all challenged us this year. And when you only have 6 games non-league to schedule, we've been fortunate, and relationships help that. Been able to get 5 of our 6 non-league games as Class A schools, which we do that obviously for the intent to be prepared come March, because I don't care if we should be playing teams that are supposed to beat us. And if we win some of them, or we're right there, that's making us better. You don't get better winning by 50. So looking forward to Saturday. Obviously, we've got another league game tomorrow to take care of first, but Saturday's going to be fun. Be fun to be in that atmosphere. I know Cadillac's playing Hudsonville in front of us, so we scrimmage Cadillac, we scrimmage Hudsonville in the off season, so we know those guys. It'll be kind of cool to see that and just be in that atmosphere, different from what we're used to on every night, and yeah, really, really challenge ourselves a little bit, hopefully. So
cool. Absolutely.
Hey, I tell you what, I'm going to try to make it over there. We've got this quarterfinal at Birmingham Marion, or is it Bloomfield Hills Marion, Birmingham Marion?
Yes.
I'm at there right next to Brother Rice. They can
Yep.
they can arm wrestle it out. But I know that Brandon Guyton does a fantastic job of hosting events, in Grand Rapids, which has started 6-7 years ago, and I think that first game was Baldwin versus Paw Paw. So it's great to see him evolve, as far as just bringing in more teams and stuff like that. And I am excited about a lot of basketball in the northern region of the Lower Peninsula, because I look over at Preston Malpass over at East Jordan, who I think is an outstanding player. I know Cadillac's got some guys. We were able to bring Ludington down and down to the Motor City Roundball Classic this past December, and get to see Peyton Lacombe, who's going to Michigan Tech, but to have them come down and I'm talking with their coach, and he's like, hey, we got beat by 30, but this is exactly what we wanted and what we needed, and then I look, I'm on the MHSA website over there, and they wound up winning their next 5 or 6 games by double digits, and so I think that it's one of those things where it's great for you guys to come down, whether it be Grand Rapids, hopefully in the round ball next year, or wherever, where you guys can really find that much the competition that you're looking for that can carry you on to where you're looking to go, and I think that that's so important for Division III schools, Division IV schools, to really go and find some talent that you're not going to find on the regular schedule. And I say that even with Detroit Douglas, you're a city team, but when you start getting in the quarterfinals and maybe even the regional finals, of the Division IVs and Division III tournaments, then you're going to see a different brand of basketball where, guys are going to be zoning you. You talked about, the diamond traps and all, the extra, the other defenses, the gimmicks, gimmick defenses, but that's what Pierre Brooks was seeing a lot last year as they went further down, further on in the playoffs. But hey, I greatly appreciate what you're doing, and to see gladiator basketball, where I think they're pretty good, 16 years ago. But it's going to be great to see you back down at the Breslin.
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal. Last night, our game, we wore the throwback uniforms of the 2012 team. The last time we've been down there, so hopefully, we can carry a little bit of that luck with us too, and
that's right.
See what we can do.
Yeah, the navy and Vegas gold. We love that. That's a great color combination. All right, well, one more thing real quick. BCAM has officially launched the One Team campaign. I'm sure you're familiar with that effort, trying to promote unity among the team, schools, and community. What are your thoughts on that endeavor?
Well, I think it's a great program. I think it's the goals of it are there. I think the big thing is getting it out to people, getting it to where we're getting some action out of it, not just on the website. So I think the more coaches know, the more we push on leagues to maybe do some different things. I mean, prior to COVID, our league was already doing the whole kids line up at half court, every other with the other team, and and then obviously COVID changed some protocols for a little while, but no, I think it's a good thing. I mean, we all want to see healthy competition. We want to see kids compete and get after each other. But at the end of it, you might be a teammate with that kid in the spring. You might be playing a Macker with that kid. Well, we used to play in Mackers. Kids don't play in Mackers anymore. But then you might be playing somewhere with that kid, or he might be a college teammate. He might.
You could live around the corner from him.
Yeah, he could be your boss someday. I think back to kids that I just couldn't stand in high school, and it's like, why was I so caught up in high school rivalry drama with a kid that I didn't really even know? We had those 32 minutes, twice a year that we got after each other, and it became personal. It's like, and this was before social media. Now they can attack each other all over. So I think it's a good thing to kind of settle some of that down and just bring to light the fact that, it is a sport. We are trying to just help these kids become young men, and there's a lot bigger world out there past high school basketball.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, one final question, kind of a poll we've been doing all season long. Your thoughts on the shot clock? We've seen several trials with this. Do you want to see it implemented someday or not?
I've been on record answering this a few times now, but
okay. All right.
I think no, that's fine. I think we're a ways off from that, to be honest.
Okay.
I think we could let about half the country try it and see all the issues they're going to have before we do it. I think schools struggle enough with officials and scorekeepers and guys who run the clock. Now you have to train someone else to run another system, as well as the officials who are, again, tough enough to get.
Right.
Now they have something else they have to manage. And I have heard from friends that travel out of the area, out of the state for AU and different things, and have had tournaments with it. And every game there's issues. There's always something, another huddle at the table to figure out if the ball hit the rim or when it did. Should it have been reset? I think we should be putting more effort into fixing or building off of what we started with our ranking system for the postseason. I think the fact that we seed the top 2 teams and the others are alphabetical within a district, look at my district. We have 3 of the top 10 teams in the state in Class C in my district.
Right.
And no matter how you slice it, the 3rd place team could play us the first game rather than us playing a 5th or 6th seed, just because of the alphabet. Yeah. And I think, most areas you could seed all the way through a regional, and you're still not going to have any more than an hour and a half of travel like you would with anything else. So I think there's other things we have in place right now that could use some tweaking before we introduce something that is going to cause a lot of headaches, probably more headaches than good, at least out of the gate. I'm not saying I would never like it. I don't think we're there yet.
Well, how about 22 games?
All day long.
I like to ask questions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I'll take 30 games. We want to come down to the Motor City Bowl. We want to go to everything we can do. I'm in. And like I said, we only get 6 non-conference games. So you give me 2, 4, 6, 8 more games, we're gonna. I'm all about that.
Yeah. There's no question that can happen. So. All right, well, that's good. The seating, yes, that's I know that Dan Young, personally has been here. We've talked a lot about seating, and it seems like the MHSAA now is really open to, expanding beyond what it is now for sure. And we'll see what happens. Hey, Coach, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Good luck the rest of the season. Like I said, State Champs is going to cover that game on Saturday, so we'll have highlights of that next week. But good luck, and hopefully we will see you at the Breslin, in a month's time.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, guys, and I hope to see you down there too.
Okay.
All right, Coach.
Thanks again.